Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Midlife Mojo Monday. I am so excited to be here. This, I have to say, is one thing that I am grateful for during this, stay-at-home orders time, is that I can still connect with you guys. I can still, do my thing, do my education, and feel like just, every week at least I get to say hi, pop into your world, and just let you know that there is life beyond your four walls, and so forth. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jill Lebofsky. I'm the owner of Midlife Mojo, all things midlife for the midlife woman, 40, 50, 60, and beyond, having to do with creating just a wonderful, vibrant life, using natural solutions for your health and your well-being. And every week, Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do my best to be on time. I get on here and I just do from anywhere from 15 to 30-ish or so minutes on some kind of topic that I feel I've either seen in the group people talking about, or I've seen in the news, or just something that I know is on the hearts and the minds of all of us who are over 40 years old as we navigate these waters. A lot of us don't really have any support. We don't have any people to turn to. So I hope that my Midlife Mojo page, and I hope that this Midlife Mojo Mondays can really be helpful for you, and and just making you, just live this vibrant, as I said, life, and just know that the midlife years don't have to be the end. They really can be the beginning. All right. And I want to make sure that you stay on to the end of my video, because always at the end of my videos, I do either some kind of either raffle or giveaway, or I talk about an upcoming event, just something that, that I have. So make sure that you stick around to the end. All right. And then last thing is, I did put in the comments, oh, maybe it wasn't this post though. I don't think it's in this. Oh, no, it is in this post. I'm not really sure. I can't remember if this post or the one I did a few minutes, about a half an hour ago, but there's a link to click on so that I can see your names in my streaming account if you're going to be on. Like there's Dawn. Hi, Dawn. So she clicked that link, which means that I can see her in my comments. I'm doing this through a different streaming, so if you don't click that, then I don't know that you're there until after the fact, which of course I do always go back and answer any kind of questions and so forth and see what you guys all have. So today's topic is all about hair. You can see I've got our conversation of the day, hair today, gone tomorrow, right? A lot of us over 40, we start to, some of us even starting in our 20s, 30s, even in our teens, start to lose some hair. But really, it starts to rev up in our 40s and our 50s and our 60s. And, the hair, our hair, it really kind of conveys a lot about our personality, right? It's a way that people do their style. My daughter just wanted to, just dyed her hair this gorgeous color peach. Unfortunately, she dyed it, and then 2 days later, like we were on stay-at-home orders, and nobody gets to see it. By the time she goes back to school, it'll all be grown out. But that was kind of her way of just, making her style. I know that, me, my curls, that's just kind of my thing. I love when my hairdresser blows it out straight, but that's not me. I never had these curls until I was 40. So I should say I used to pay for these curls until I hit 40 and the hormones changed everything. But now I've learned to embrace them and I love them, and it's kind of my thing, right? So it really can convey aspects of your personality, and therefore. And throughout, our lives, particularly as women age, hair kind of becomes even more and more important for a lot of women. Some researchers found that in the beginning of the 20th century, perceptions about old age began to shift. And, basically it became more important for women as they age to really start to groom themselves, to color their hair, to keep themselves looking well. And a lot of women, once you kind of hit that menopause years, you can't help it. It's just inevitable. It's a part of the aging process, part of the hormonal drop, that there is going to be hair loss that happens. And it can be distressing. For some people, it's very, very significant. And we're going to talk about some different reasons why people may, in addition to, the menopause and getting older, why women may have some hair loss. But then you couple that with getting older, excuse me, and menopause, and it can really be some difficulties for some women. I know that hair loss is definitely an issue that I struggle with. You know, this little spot right here, I sit there for hours trying to make sure it's covered up in this little spot right there. All right here is very, when I look, very, very thinned out. And it's something that I do. I blow my hair a certain way. I pull it a certain way. I've had, do all those kind of tricks. So it is something that I myself definitely struggle with, and know a lot of you guys do too. So hopefully today you guys will start to feel better. Perhaps if you have been struggling, to know that you're not alone. Know there are some natural solutions out there for you, because I know a lot of the ladies on this group, we talk about natural solutions, and so you don't really want to use some of those harsher chemical solutions that people have out there. But if for some reason it's really affecting you mentally, affecting your self-esteem, maybe you need to talk to somebody outside of this group, maybe a professional about it. Because as I said, some women really have some significant loss as they get older. So how many of you have experienced any kind of hair loss at all? And out there, right now I got Dawn on here, but anybody who's watching also on the replay, how many of you have experienced some kind of, hair loss? And if you have, how has it affected you? Does it affect you at all? Do you play the Jill game where you're kind of moving your hair in all different places? What does it make? How does it make you feel in general if you have experienced any kind of hair loss, or if you know anybody who's gone through this and the experience that they've had? Now, some types of hair loss in women is just temporary, but some, once the hair follicle is dead and damaged, it's done. So the reasons for hair loss are varied, for sure. We think of hair loss, a lot of times we think about as men, right, as a problem for men as men get older. But women, we definitely, as I've been saying, definitely experience it, and some significantly. Fewer than 45% of women actually go through life with a full head of hair. So if you see a woman in her 60s, 70s with a full head of hair, she's one of the lucky ones, I guess, because fewer than 45% of women do go through it. Now, some hair loss is perfectly normal. You may, as you brush your hair and so forth, that hair naturally falls out. They say about 50 to 100 hairs per day is normal. And hair, it's kind of a whole growth process of hair. I'm not going to go through that, but your hair should last. A hair lasts anywhere in your head from 2 to 6 years before it should naturally fall out. But in general, about 50 to 100 hairs will fall out per day. But what's not normal is when you have this excessive hair loss that may be accompanied by some of the following, like when you see, you go to brush your hair and clumps of it come out. Or if you're near the shower, clumps of it come out. Or if you just notice larger, can you see my hair? I don't know. I can't really see because of myself. But you guys can kind of see my thinning hair right there. There's a spot right there. Okay? So as I said, I'm playing around, right? So with my hair, like that. So if you notice, that's like a spot right now. I can play with it, I can do that. But if that's over time to get bigger and worse, then it may be something that I may want to consider going to see a dermatologist and a professional. So if you've got something, significant there, I definitely want you to feel comfortable going to visit a dermatologist and just get some opinions on what's going on for you and see the suggestions that they have. Now, anybody can be affected by hair loss in women or girls, but typically it's when you're over 40 or a woman who just had babies. Excuse me 1 minute. Everybody's gone, and I can hear my dogs, and I just want to make sure he's not in my garbage. What are you doing? Yes, you are. No, leave it. Leave it. Live TV. Yes, nobody else is home, and I have 2 dogs, and one likes to not only get in the trash but jump up on the counters, and just caught him with just about to dive into a big box of matzah. Ugh. That would definitely make him probably think twice after if he swallowed that whole thing down. But anyways, all right. So sorry for that momentary. We do this at home, and that's what live TV is. The women have got all of their babies. As I watch a lot of my friends, their little ones are popping in. I've got my dog distraction. But anyway, so back to women who are most susceptible. Women who are older than 40, women who maybe have had a significant event, like, bodily event, like having a baby, something like that. Women who have been affected by chemotherapy or other medications can cause extensive hair loss. Women who have hairstyles where they wear really really tight ponytails or cornrows or tight braids. Women who just, I have a lot of women just pull their hair back severely for their whole, really, really tightly. Or they use harsh chemicals on your hair. Those are kind of women who are most susceptible to the hair loss. So Dawn, you said been blessed, no excessive hair loss. Lucky, lucky. So a lot of that is genetic, a lot of that may be how you treat your hair. And we're going to talk about that. Again, I talked about if maybe you aren't somebody who wore your hair in a lot of tight ponytails and so forth. So kudos to you. You're lucky that you may be in that good percentage, and that may last you as you go through life. I'll tell you in a second. All right, so some symptoms and signs of hair loss in women. Seeing more hair fall out daily, okay, then should be that normal 50 to 100 hairs, right? You see it on your shower, you see it in the sink, you see it on your pillow. Seeing noticeable patches of thinning or missing hair. Having smaller ponytails. So you go to make a ponytail and it's smaller. Seeing your hair break off. And then, as I said earlier, if hair follicles are damaged, and the loss can be permanent. So some of the causes, the big one for women is called female pattern hair loss. So you've heard of male pattern baldness. It's kind of the female version of that. And that's a lot of times due to, not a lot, it is due to genetics, to hereditary. It often gets worse as a woman loses her estrogen as she starts to go through menopause. So if you are prone to this female pattern hair loss, like I am, my father had male pattern hair loss when he was in his early 20s. He went bald. His mother, which is usually the person who carries that gene, my paternal grandmother, she was the one that I'm supposed to look just like, and she too had very thin hair as she got older and had this. So it does affect some 30 million women over the United States. So that is no small number, right? And like I said, for the most women, that female pattern, it's thinning right here on that crown of your head that starts to widen and get bigger. This type of loss may occur in the 40s, 50s, 60s. It can be inherited from either the mother, the father, or both can contribute to the condition. And it does tend to be chronic and progressive. But if you can get it diagnosed early or treat it some way early, then it can be, you can help stop the loss or help it at least lose it slower. So don't let it go too long. If you are in your, starting to see that, and that that's kind of in your family, you might want to go and start looking at some of these solutions we're going to talk about in just a moment and start taking care of that. So another thing that may cause hair loss, in a woman is extreme stress or shock to the body. So I said something like a baby. Well, us women over 40, most of us are not having babies. Some of us did, though. Dawn, weren't you one of those women who had a baby over 40, right? So that could definitely be a shock to your system. And it can trigger that sudden hair loss in women, so things like that. And things like losing a significant amount of weight, surgeries, illnesses, all of those things can really stress out the body and cause this overnight, just cause this hair loss to start. Toxic substances, like including chemotherapy, radiation, as I mentioned, certain kind of strong medications, they can cause sudden hair loss that absolutely can be permanent if the hair follicles are damaged. So if you are taking chemotherapy, you got to take chemotherapy, right? Radiation, you may have to. Some of these strong medications you may have to take. But look into the medications, and maybe there are some alternatives that you can do. Yes, 41. So, 41, your body definitely had a lot of hormones already probably starting to happen, and then you had the baby hormones. And so for you, you're lucky you didn't have the hair loss, but for many women, they would. Now, crash diets and fad diets can affect your, you lose a lot of weight really, really quickly. If you lose 15 pounds, in a very, very short period of time, a week or two, you just do these fad diets. You may see that you may start to lose a significant amount of hair over time. If you're not getting an adequate amount of protein and nutrients, that's one of the reasons for that. So making sure, has anybody ever lost any hair or noticed a change in the hair when they started a different kind of diet at all? Now, you guys know I do intermittent fasting, right? So some women do see some kind of hair, some changes. That is one of the changes that people have if they're not accompanying intermittent fasting with a healthy diet. And I'm going to talk about some things that you want to make sure in just a moment to have in your diet, whether you're doing intermittent fasting or not, but you want to especially do it if you're doing intermittent fasting to get that in within your window. I mentioned before, tight ponytails, wearing a lot of hats over your lifetime, scarves, cornrows, bandanas can help pull the hair. And that gradual, constant tension irritates the scalp and may cause the hair to fall out. Now, like I know I have, like, you see this in men a lot, men who wear a lot of baseball hats when they were younger. Like all of my guy friends who are like baseball hat people are all bald. They're all bald. And we're all turning 50. They're all bald. My husband, I don't know if you've seen pictures of him, but he's very proud of his almost full head of hair. Now, if he was to pull his hair back, he definitely has got receding. And when I'm tall enough or I'm standing above him, I do see a little bit patching thin hair. But for 50 years old, that man's got a beautiful set of hair, which whenever we go to anywhere, he always looks around the room and makes sure to point out to me. But I always attribute it to the fact that he never wore baseball hats for the most part. That was never his thing. So same thing with kind of women who wear a lot of things on their head if they were younger, that may affect it, or that tight hair. And then I was watching some kind of, I don't know, short documentary or story on Ariana Grande. Look it up on YouTube, but it was her story about her hair, and it was really sad that she, just because as a teenager, for her role, they made her color her hair so often that she had to started to lose her hair. And so then they made her start pulling back her hair. That's her like signature tight ponytail like that. Even made it worse, and just had this whole, just patches of hair. And she was talking about the trauma that she went through with hair loss. So it's very real, ladies, very real. And anybody can experience that. So let's talk specifically about the relationship between hair loss and menopause, right? Because most of us aren't having babies that are causing our hair loss. It's the changing in hormones due to menopause. So you might see one of two things happening around hair and menopause. One is hair loss, and the other is hair growing in places you might not be so thrilled, like hair on our chins, and on our face, little peach fuzz and things like that. And those are topics for another day. Today I'm talking specifically about hair loss. But you may know that it starts to, you're going to notice that it starts to thin. And one may be due to this depletion of estrogen and progesterone levels falling as you start to go through your 40s, your 50s. And some women, start to completely, get almost completely depleted of your estrogen as you go into full menopause. And so what happens is the effects of the androgens, which are the male hormones, they start to kind of take over. That's kind of why you may see some of that peach fuzz and so forth. And during and after menopause, hair might become finer, which is like thinner, because the hair follicles shrink as you get older and as the hormones take effect. Hair grows more slowly and it falls out more easily. So can you regrow your hair after 40, after menopause? Yes, you can. Okay, but it's going to grow more slowly. And yeah, okay. So let me take a quick drink here, and we're going to get into some solutions real quick. All right, so hair styling. I'm trying to watch myself a little bit. I keep forgetting, because when I look up, I have this new light and it causes these little rings in my eyes. I don't know if I'm looking weird when I'm looking down and you can't see. Hey, Don, tell me, do I look like I'm looking in the camera right now with no rings in my glasses? I'm trying to find that like sweet spot. But anyways, then I start talking and I forget. But anyways, so some solutions, and I've got a bunch of them. So the first thing is hair styling, right? So I was telling you how I kind of do my version of the comb over, right, kind of thing. But you can go to your hair stylist. Do we have anybody on this who's a hair stylist? Maybe you guys can chime in with some solutions for us all, some styles of hair, some ways and tricks that we could use. But some things that I found were a new haircut or a new hairstyle. So shorter may make it fuller. I read if you color your hair, it may make it look fuller. Things like adding curls, waves may add some volume up here. My hair, when it gets weighted down or I do it too long, it starts to get really like flat and thin, and you can really see. So I try to add some, layers in the hair and keep it a little bit shorter, so there's some bounce in it, adding some volume up here. So, and then, another thing is just if you are somebody who wears it up a lot, is to just eliminate that tension and wear it down. Let the body just, breathe. Let the hair just breathe. Let the nothing be pulling on the scalp. All right. Um, there are some other things you can do. So at this point, if you've already got the hair loss and you want to cover it up, well, now the hair, the scarves, the bandanas, really cute ways. You can go onto YouTube, really cute ways to wear different kinds of hats and scarves and bandanas. We're all wearing masks, right? We can wear cute scarves and scarves all over our faces and our hair. You can consider even getting a weave or a wig for some women if it's really gotten to that point, and you really make some beautiful natural hair weaves, right now, and wigs that really you can't even tell the difference. That might be helpful for you. So there are definitely some solutions that you can just do, with your hair itself in that way. Yeah, okay, so that's what. And then some other things that you may want to, when you're talking about that, you want to talk about product, right? So you can talking about moving your hair around or cutting your hair a certain way, but the product that you use is also going to be important. So the hairdresser probably can recommend some products to you. They can maybe even recommend some things that make the bald spots look more hidden. The truth is, though, those are probably going to have some toxins in them. They probably are going to have some chemicals in them. And you guys know that I am all about thank you, Dawn, looking at the camera. I appreciate it. So you guys know I'm all about natural solutions and, trying to offer you the most natural routes that you can go. So definitely, when it comes to how you feel about yourself, you got to do what works for you. But just know that, know that there are other solutions that I'm going to talk about today. There's things like, you see the Rogaine for women, minoxidil, the FDA approves that. But that's really harsh chemicals in there. So what else can it do? Some of the other products they recommend haven't been tested. What else can they do? So I, like to look for shampoos and conditioners that are all natural, that are free of parabens, that are, maybe non-GMO, that just really use some, that are free a lot of the really harsh chemicals that are out there. And so forth. So choosing a shampoo, if you want the volume, make sure you choose one that doesn't use sulfate detergents. Now, my hairdresser recommended it to me, taking biotin. I think it was 10,000 milligrams. I have to be honest, I haven't ordered it yet. I got to double check. I'll double check that with her. She might be in this group. I'll tag her in this. But I thought it was like 10,000 milligrams of biotin a day, but I could be wrong about that. I got to double check that. But what I did do is I did buy over here. I don't know if you can see. I was at TJ Maxx. Was that where I was? Yeah, TJ's a few weeks ago. And I always like to look at their hair stuff. They've got some natural stuff. So I bought a couple of their products there. This is their Joanna Jones Thickening Biotin and Collagen Shampoo. Biotin and collagen are two things that definitely can help strengthen the hair. It says enriched with biotin and collagen for noticeably thicker and fuller looking hair, nourishing for maximum hair health and strength. So, and this is free of parabens. And then I have this Castor Oil Curl Care Conditioner. It says color safe, no parabens, no phthalates, no dyes, no harsh chemicals, no mineral oils, no gluten, no GMOs, no animal testing, right here. So I got both of these at TJ Maxx, but I do, if you can't find them at your TJ Maxx, where I did put them up on my Midlife Mojo must-haves. If you go to my jillabofsky.com, actually, I think I might have this. I put this up. Let's see. There you go. So if you go, let me get rid of this. Hold on. One second. Let me hide that. There we go. Okay. So if you go to that website or just jillabofsky.com and go to the Midlife Mojo must-haves tab, that's the beauty tab. And I found these on Amazon, and you can buy them through my Amazon link. They are probably twice as expensive on Amazon. So if you can find them at TJ Maxx, you might want to do that. But I've been liking the products a lot. I've been liking how they've been making my hair feel. And finding hair shampoos that have a pH between 5 and 7, with 1 being the most acidic and 14 being the most alkaline. But between that 5 and 7 mark is what you're aiming for. And so, I also, I haven't used them in a while, I have to be honest, but when I was looking up, because I kind of switched over, but when I went and looked up some Young Living shampoo and conditioner, because I used to always use their Copaiba and vanilla, and I wanted to kind of look up the pH of that and then the pH of their lavender mint. I saw they actually, and I don't know how in 6 years of sharing Young Living I've missed this, but they have just a plain lavender shampoo and conditioner that is specifically for volumizing. So I'm actually going to try, I'm going to grab it on my next order, the Lavender Volumizing Hair Shampoo. Now, there had a pH of, I think it was between 5.5 and 5.7, the shampoos and conditioners. So they fall right into that safe zone. They are plant-based, chemical-free. They're really good stuff. Now, the shampoo and maybe the conditioner too do contain corn, dairy, gluten, nuts, soy, and coconut ingredients. So if you do have any kind of like nut allergy or thing, then you do want to watch out for those. But that would be another great solution is the Young Living Volume Lavender shampoo and conditioner. If you're a Young Living member, or if you're not a Young Living member and you want to try it, you can certainly get in touch with me and I can help you get a hold of that. And then another product that I love by Young Living is their Mira hair oil. And I use their hair oil. I put a little bit in my hand when it's damp, and I do it to kind of give my little curls here a little bit instead of like I used to use mousses and stuff. And it used to weigh my hair down. Now, to be honest with you, I took a shower last night. I didn't even do it in my hair last night. I didn't even dry my hair last night, but I kind of woke up with these beautiful curls still. So I just put a little in my hands before I came on, and I scrunched up my curls just to kind of get rid of the flyaways. So I love the Mira hair oil as well. So definitely some good products out there that you can find that don't contain harsh chemicals. And then if you are looking to color your hair, there's a company called Madison Reed, and you can order online their hair coloring. A lot of us are at home right now, and we're looking for ways to keep our hair colored. So Madison Reed, I did try to get a link for them. I don't know if they've approved me for a link for them. If I get approved, I'll put that up as well. But you can just go to Madison Reed and order that as well. Oh, thank you, Dawn. Yes, my little curls. It's taken me a long time to learn to love my curls, but I definitely have learned to embrace them over the years. But it really, but product and thing like that really does make a difference. I have noticed over the years, especially as I've gotten older, different products definitely make a difference with how my hair looks. So, all right, let's see what else I wanted to talk about here. Oh, yes. So make sure with those products, the Young Living Lavender Volumizing Hair Conditioner and Shampoo and the Mira, make sure you stay tuned to the end because I'm going to tell you how you have a chance to win all three of those items. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Pretty exciting, right? All right. So another quick little solution is if you swim. Now, a lot of us in Florida swim, or a lot of you maybe go to the gym to swim. Make sure you're wearing a swimming cap because chlorine can contribute to hair breakage. Or if you're in a colder area, so maybe you're out in the cold, you're out skiing and things like that, make sure you're wearing a hair hat because the cold can add over extended time. The sun or the wind or the cold can add to damage to your hair over time. Next, all right, is proper nutrition. So you guys know that I'm all about eating well, right? Eating healthy, not about restricting anything, but making good choices with your foods. So stick to a healthy, balanced eating diet, plan, one that has, higher in healthy fats, higher in protein, higher in vegetables, the healthy complex carbs like quinoas and rice, your healthier fruits, trying to avoid your fruit juices, trying to avoid your dried fruits, your cakes, your pizzas, your junk type of stuff. But you also want to make sure that you're getting adequate vitamins and minerals. Very, very important. All right. You want to make sure you're incorporating monosaturated oils into your diet, like olive oils and sesame seed oils. Drinking green tea and taking vitamin B6 and folic acid supplements can also be very helpful in keeping your hair. It may help even restore hair growth. All right. So that definitely, eating well and taking the right supplements can even restore your hair. So there's something definitely to be looking into. And Young Living also offers a whole line of supplements that if you're interested, I can talk to you one-on-one about down the road, or probably we'll end up doing some videos down the road as well. Essential fatty acids play a crucial role in maintaining hair health. These fatty acids can be found in the following foods. So especially those of you who are doing intermittent fasting, I want you to listen, because these are all the foods that I recommend you focus on when you're for sustaining your fast, for keeping you full. And now also here's the bonus benefit. It can keep your hair, it can help your hair maintain its strength and help it regrow. Foods like salmon, tuna, flaxseed oil, walnuts, almonds, all of those kind of high fat, healthy foods. All right. So if you're struggling with your diet, just struggling with your hair loss, try maybe starting with just tweaking your diet just a little bit. That may be a good solution. And then, I mean, are you guys willing to do that so far? I mean, rather than just jump to like the chemicals and so forth, are you guys willing to maybe, do some little, tricks with your hair, with a hairdresser, maybe trying some specific shampoos that can help improve your hair, maybe doing your tweaks in some of your diets? I hope so. Okay. I always feel like the simplest solution is always the best solution, or at least the first solution, and then, kind of go from there. Now, some of you may again have more extreme baldness areas, and maybe you do need to go, to a chemical-based thing. Please know that there's no judgment here. We have to do what works for us. I always just like to share natural things, and as the first line of defense. And so what is my natural solution? You know it. Essential oils. And there are essential oils that can help us in this area. So we mentioned lavender, right? Talk about the lavender shampoo and conditioner. They also are infused with other oils other than just lavender. For those of you just real quick who don't know, you've been living under a rock, essential oils. Let me just take this off real quick here. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. So essential oils are highly concentrated oils that are extracted from all parts of the plants, the flowers, the bushes, the trees. Are extracted from their roots, their leaves, their stems. And they have been used, these like powerful droplets have been used for years for our physical and emotional and spiritual health. And it also has been used to use things like conditioning and even regrowing hair. So, people like Cleopatra and so forth from, if you talk about in history, she used essential oils as part of her beauty and her bath regimen. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the essential oils we talk about played a role in her hair care as well. So hair care oils specifically, there's scientific research behind these, and you can do your own research. PubMed.gov is a great place to go for research. But oils like cedarwood, oils like rosemary, clary sage, lavender, lemongrass, spikenard, ylang ylang, thyme, all great oils. Oh, juniper, another good one. Yes, juniper, another good, juniper berry. Another great oils that all can help you with, again, just conditioning your hair, keeping good, full, shiny hair. All of those oils are great, but you want to make sure that you are using good quality oils, right? So that I talk about Young Living oils all the time. I know that they are of the highest quality and purity. I am no sense in putting essential oils or using essential oils that have chemicals added to them, because then it just defeats the purpose, right? So make sure if you are using essential oils that are other than Young Living, which I don't know why you would, but if you are, and that's okay, and you've done your own due diligence and feel comfortable, just make sure that they are oils that don't have any chemicals added to them. Has anybody tried any of those oils? Cedarwood, rosemary, peppermint oil, I've heard, ylang ylang, any of those kind of oils at all? Has anybody tried them? Juniper, you love cedarwood? Yep. Grapeseed oil, grapeseed oil is a carrier oil. That's going to be something that you can utilize to add with it. That can also help with the hair loss. So we talked about stress, right? Like stress being something that can contribute to hair loss. Well, stress can literally make your hair fall out. So it's important to keep your stress levels at a minimum. And right now it's definitely extra, we have this extra stresses added on. We're living with husbands and families 24/7. We've got this, maybe some of us have some financial worries, job worries, just getting sick worries, all of this stress. And that can really add to this hormonal imbalance. And so we want to try to keep those stress levels to the minimum as we can. And essential oils can be really, really helpful. They can affect your brain chemistry. They can affect your mood swings that you're going to be experiencing, whether it's through the stress or through the menopause, things like that, things like anxiety and depression people may be experiencing. So you can incorporate, things like breathing exercises, yoga. You can incorporate those things to help your stress levels, and then incorporate the essential oils into them. So incorporating lavender would be a great way to, if you even just, you're putting it in your hair, and we can talk about how you massage it in your hair in just a minute, but you're kind of having that smell, and then it helps relax you at the same time, right? Good bang for your buck. I love my oils, definitely. And I always like to cite studies when I do my recommendations, because I like you to know that it's not just Jill recommending these, but there's research behind what I recommend. And Case Western Reserve University published a study in which they compared identical twins with different life experiences. And they found that when one of the twins experienced significant more stress, she was 3 times more likely to have hair loss. The author of the study explains that stress releases cortisol, which produces waste products around hair follicles, making them deteriorate. So, cortisol, when you get your stress levels up, increases, and that can damage the hair follicles. Very interesting. Now, I did not know that. So, I love doing these little, to 20, 30, what am I going on? 36 minutes. Hopefully we'll be done in just a few minutes here. Tidbits for you guys, because I learn things all the time. And Dawn, yes, you take Cortistop. That is great essential oil supplement for stress as well. And so another solution right there. Some top essential oils: lavender, stress away, frankincense would be some great choices. Another research study talked about regrowing hair. In the United Kingdom, there's a 7-month study done in 1998 by researchers at the Department of Dermatology, and they concluded that essential oils can treat something called alopecia areata, which is an autoimmune disease resulting in bald patches. And the oils that they used were thyme, rosemary, lavender, and cedarwood. Same oils I recommend, right? And they were blended in a base of jojoba oil and grapeseed oil, just like Dawn said, right? A second group had just the oils massaged, so just the jojoba and the grapeseed. And then another group had the oils or the grapeseed, and then with the thyme, the rosemary, the lavender, and the cedarwood. And the first group that used the essential oils with the carrier oils had a 44% improvement in hair regrowth over the group that just used the jojoba oil or the grapeseed oil. Now, they too had some hair growth. They had 15%, but when they added the essential oils into it, a 44% hair growth. The theory is that essential oils regrow hair because they stimulate blood vessels in the scalp where the hair follicles are located. This results in more blood flow, which brings nutrients to the hair follicle. So this won't work if the hair follicle is already dead. The only way to do that is through a hair transplant. But again, if you're just starting to notice hair loss happening, you can start to regrow. And I have had Young Living friends who have experimented this, and they've had clients and they've taken pictures. And I myself, I'm going to admit, I'm going to tell you a little concoction I make in just a moment. My bad thing is that I'm just not consistent. But as I've done this today, and as I'm writing, I'm getting recommitted to using my concoction that I made for my hair loss, because it's so easy. And all you got to do is, I have it, if you've got my book right in here, it's basically, I recommend 2 ounces of jojoba or coconut oil. I'm a big coconut oil, but it is a little greasier, so grapeseed oil would be good. And then 5 drops of rosemary, 5 drops of cedarwood, 10 drops of lavender. And then I recommended 2 drops of peppermint. I like that tingling feeling on my scalp, and it also is good. And you can combine the ingredients in a bowl or bottle with a pump and then gently massage it into your scalp. Preferably you want to do it before bed. Argan oil is great for hair, for your hair. So I like to use, I actually made mine with argan oil too. So that can be a great thing you can do. But just mix it all together, really massage it into your scalp, not the hair, but the scalp, and leave it in, right? For 2 minutes, massage it. So put it on and then just massage it all into your scalp. And then leave it in and rinse it out in the morning. Okay. Now remember to use cooler water, not hotter water. Hotter water will actually damage the hair, so you should use cooler water. And that's just a great way to start to work on your hair growth naturally. Now, when you are massaging your oil, I wrote my notes here because I was just reading this. See, if I had some hairdressers in here, they could help you. they could do this. But what did I say? Oh, circular motions. Make sure you're massaging your scalp in circular motions, and make sure that you're doing it gently, because rubbing your scalp vigorously can cause friction and damage your hair. And some people recommend even bending over, like completely over, and flipping your hair over and massaging your scalp that way so that your head is below your heart to increase the blood flow. You can then massage your scalp a little bit more to facilitate more blood reaching the hair follicles. See, I learn things new all the time. I love that. So for best results, we talked about, using those carrier oils with, I loved the cedarwood, the rosemary, the lavender, the peppermint, mixing all of those together, but make sure that you are using high quality oils. If you want to get a little bit more information, or you are somebody who struggles, you can go to hairlossinwomen.org. It was an organization I found. They have a lot of great information there. Now, not all of their solutions are natural, but they do. I don't know what happened there, so I lost my connection. Am I still rolling? I'm still rolling. Good. Okay. Good. Because I'm at the very, very end, and I wouldn't want you guys to miss out on this. So I hope that you guys got a lot of really great information about hair loss today. This is going to kind of be like hair week or so. I'm going to be kind of in the group posting some different other things that I learned. This is already 40 minutes long. I can't talk forever. But I wanted to talk about some other things about around your hair and hair care in general. So look for those during the week. And then you may have seen yesterday I created an event on April 24th at 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am hosting a Midlife Mojo movie night. And I thought we're all kind of still be locked in. So what a fun thing to do on Friday night. And we can all get together on April 24th, 7:30 to 9:30. It will be on Zoom. And let me actually switch this out here. Hold on. I have a little link with it. Where do I have this here? Let me hold on one second. Let me get this. Oopsie. Come on. There we go. Show in stream. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So yes. So I have this Midlife Mojo movie night event that I am going to be hosting. I used to host live meal and movie nights for 3 years, where we would show a documentary, we would serve a yummy, delicious plant-based meal. We'd have sponsors who would, support whatever we were talking about. We'd have giveaways and prizes. So I kind of wanted to recreate that a little for this. It may be a one-time event. It may be a quarterly event. We'll see what the reception is. But this movie is called Gray is the New Blonde, and it's all about going gray naturally. Now, you guys, I color my hair. I don't go gray naturally, so I don't want anybody to feel that this is a judgmental movie about, or, if you're coloring your hair, that's our choice, right? Whatever makes you feel beautiful. But this is a great, I've watched the movie the other day, just a really empowering movie about just aging in general and embracing who you are and where you are, and whether it's going gray or coloring your hair. So what we're going to do for that night is they're going to bring everybody together on Zoom. We'll watch part of the movie together. I've got a couple of sponsors together. I'm going to do a whole little video on it. But one of the sponsors is my friend Carmen. She sells paparazzi jewelry. This is one of her beautiful pieces right here, just $5, all of her pieces. And then I'm also going to be doing a discussion after the movie, so we can really just for 15, 20 minutes talk about this a little bit more and really get into this topic. And then I'm going to be giving away a raffle prize. So I really want to get as many people to this event. My goal is 100. If I got 50, I'd be thrilled. But the more people, the merrier, so we can really talk about this in depth and just empower women in their gray hair. So there's the link right there, Midlife Mojo Movie Night. You do have to register. It is a free event, but you do have to register, and then you'll get an email that will give you the Zoom link. But if you share that link on your personal page, and if you register and or share that link on your personal page using that hashtag MMMN, Midlife Mojo Movie Night, MMNN, so I can find it later, I will enter you in the raffle to win the Lavender shampoo and conditioner and the Mira hair oil. So I'm going to give away a hair care kit, all 3 of those, to one lucky winner. So very excited about that. Hey, I don't know. I see Stacy and I see Patty, and I don't know if people are tagging people or whatnot. And maybe that could be Faith. Maybe I bet you it's Faith tagging people. Faith, unless you have to do something for me to see your name. But anyways, I'm really excited about this event. And Faith, if that is you, Faith is also one of our sponsors as well. She is my personal branding coach, and she's going to talk about, how you are your brand, and whether it's gray hair, your thing, or whatnot. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But watch for my whole video all about that event coming up. So that's what I just wanted to share with you guys today, a little bit about hair loss. I want to make sure that you guys make sure to register for the upcoming event. And as always, join me every Monday at 2 p.m. live. If you've got any topics you'd like me to talk about, definitely shoot me off a message. I'd love to do a little bit of research if I don't know about it, to give you all the information you can so that I can support you. And I am going to send you off with my little exit video here. Let me hide